Go ahead. Tell them what you guys were talking about. Tell them.
No, I can't.
We're live, right? So
Yeah.
I did not open Tailspire.
Hello, everybody. We were not talking about anything dirty. We were talking about Bicycle Day.
Wow.
Which, for those of you who don't know, that is the holiday before Weedapalooza that celebrates the first ingesting of LSD. That's what we were talking about. Nothing worse. Nothing at all.
Liar.
But if you don't know, I'm Justin Nightinger, and I'm going to be running this crazy shit show that it seems like it's starting out to be tonight, which is very interesting because holy shit, this is our 40th episode. That's crazy.
Insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So I also need to throw in that due to all of the players, never me, this is a hard R-rated D&D actual play game. And that's all I got before we kick things off. So we're going to go in alphabetical order, starting with Casey.
Hi, everybody. My name's Casey Boyd, and I cut 3 inches off my beard.
Oh, look at you all trimmed and proper.
I know, right?
Oh, look
We'll
at
be
Snappy.
honest, I did not notice. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
Hello, my name is Emily, and I play Maeve the monk. That's all I have to say today. I feel like that's the case every time.
I mean,
but, yeah.
Emily, that actually speaks volumes. You need to keep your eyes up here, okay?
Oh, you caught me.
Oh boy, hello, my name is Lisa. I'm playing Nyx the Reborn Cleric. I'm very distracted because our conversation immediately prior to this is still just bouncing around my head in the worst of ways. Rob, please. Rob, please take the heat off of me, please.
Well, hello, me hearties. I'm playing Casper, the Orc Paladin, and I'm picking inspiration tonight. So, I'll pick whoever makes the best pirate-themed comment when appropriate. So that's the goal,
Solid choice.
and that's all that I'm going to use voice for.
Yes,
So
please fill the chat
Oh.
with pirate puns. That's all we ask for.
Yep. All right. So, if nobody has any more to do there, let's go over our normal stuff, which is we're playing D&D 5e with a few homebrew rules added into the mix. We are still waiting on bated breath for the new D&D Beyond extension for Twitch. Who knows when that'll happen because, you know, they were just bought up by Wizards of the Coast, so that'll probably have a little bit of a lag time now. Last but certainly not least, everything in the middle is the sweet, sweet Tailspire. We are not affiliated, but damn are they awesome. So if you play with a friend or an enemy in a room or across the country like we do, pick it up. It's just a sweet tool. Last time on DMSAVINGTHROW, the group headed off to Bound to Be New. It is here that they ran into Vanessa Risa Tornock, Montgomery Tornock, and Charles Pomeroy. I'm putting those names out there because I know Lisa likes notes. They both kicked in, so the groups split into two, and they both kicked in and gently opened a door to start off an encounter with aggressive negotiations. They gave the owner a shitload of money, and then that owner immediately decided to quit working for Prowler and take a vacation. Montgomery, under a spell from Byron, tells the crew about a Prowler mage behind the workshop of Bound to Be New. It's here that they fought a mage and a weird robot that almost killed Maeve, but thanks to the teamwork of the Badge Bunnies, she was able to survive and fight another day. Once they killed the robot, they found there was a dead gnome in the middle with weird tubes running from the gnome to a crystal, and they interrogated the mage. Well, my mouth doesn't want to work today. That's what happened last week. We gave inspiration to Mateus. So if Mateus is here, you've got inspiration. And for those of you who do not know, that means that Mateus can give me advantage or disadvantage on any of my rolls, as well as giving the players advantage whenever they roll. Keep being awesome in chat. As Rob said, he is going to be picking inspiration tonight, so get those pirate-themed things flying in chat. And I think that's it. Anybody have anything else before we kick this show on the road? Nope. Okay.
I go.
What? Let's go. You guys are in front of a dead robot thing.
Excellent.
And dead mage.
Oh yeah, that's right. You
I
killed the mage. I
loot the
forgot.
robot and the mage.
You guys already looted
Shit, we
the
already looted
mage
these last time.
and the robot. Yes, I listened to the episode twice.
Well, we know that we have the book back, and we know that Iohara requested that we find the book. Is there anything else that we want to take care of with the mage and the robot before we skedaddle back to her?
Maybe stuff them in the shed so nobody sees them.
Oh, we could put him in Byron's mystery hole. Just take
I
him
would
with
like
us.
to remind you, my cousin's body is in there, and we already threw a dragon shaped like a rabbit down there.
I mean, technically that's true. Plus, I really like knowing who the guy is before he gets in my hole.
Okay, Byron. I'm pretty sure that there's room for a
I think-
dragon and a dead cousin and a giant robot in the hole.
What are you saying?
If we had an inspiration
got a lot of use.
emote, I would be hitting it hard in chat right now.
806, got it.
No! I hate everything. I hate you all.
I would like to take the robot with us, and I think that with a little bit of time and tweaking, Nyx could maybe during our next like long rest or something. I feel like Nyx could pick that apart and try to see if we can learn anything else about Prowler's new mystery magic.
So
Yeah.
where are you going? It is rather heavy
Yeah,
and
it is.
large.
Big.
I do have a horse.
You do have a horse, but I don't think it would fit into the mystery hole. If you chopped it up, it might fit into a bag of holding.
Not me double checking if I have a bag of holding. I think I do.
It's too bad it wouldn't fit into a cod piece of holding.
Yeah. I've got a bag of holding. I can chop up a little gnome
Yeah.
body and fit him in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're just
alright.
you're
Taking
just
the
taking
gnome or the robot?
just taking the gnome.
Oh,
or you
can I take the? Oh no! I'm way more interested in the robot and like the magic behind that I am the
Yeah.
body.
Says,
don't
the,
remember
says
how-
the necromancer.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't remember.
if you want to
I want
tie it up
both.
with ropes to my horse, we could just drag it through the city. I mean,
Wow.
That seems like
that's
inviting.
my best idea.
That seems like inviting trouble, if I may. But if we're not in any immediate threat, I mean, if we can take a little bit of time to just quickly dismantle it. I don't even care about like the arms and legs necessarily, but if I can just take like the torso, the robot with me,
Yeah,
throw it in a bag of holding, check it out later.
go ahead and take your time. I'll send Athena up. She can watch, and in the meantime, maybe I can learn something about this book that we were sent to get.
And
go
if
through-
Athena sees the black dragon again, maybe let us report back if she spots that one.
Okay.
I will remind you, we did a lot of examining that already made it seem like it's not a forgery, it is the actual book.
Correct. There was a little bit of fraying at the top and bottom, and the pages were a little bit loose. But I need, for Athena, I need a perception check just to see what's going on. Or I don't remember. You might roll that perception check.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up right now.
Okay. And then for taking apart the robot, I'm either gonna need an Arcana or a I guess maybe a sleight of hand.
Nyx, I could, if you want, I can help you rip the robot into smaller pieces.
Athena
Please.
rolled
Tear
a
off the arms,
19.
tear off the legs.
A 19. So Athena's flying around. She doesn't see any dragons. You are able to see, the Enchanters Guild to your, that would be your east, I believe. And, you can see some of the other things that you know of in the city because owls have good eyes and stuff. But you don't see anything else.
With Casper's help, I rolled a 23. to take
Oh.
apart the robot.
You're like, oh, this makes complete sense, and you're just popping joints off like you're cleaning a chicken. Like you just get you get a screwdriver in there and just pop it open. You see a thing chop out, and you're able to take this apart. And I'll say, with that roll, you're able to know how to put it back together. Although you might not understand the science behind it, you could at least get it back into the shape that it was.
Oh, I cannot wait to use this for evil. Thank you, Justin.
I know, I said it and I was instantly like, fuck, why would I say this? This is stupid.
You just need to find a gnome, and it'll be good.
What
Yeah,
about
you just need to
fancy
find a gnome.
boots? Yeah, maybe we could lure someone in with my fancy gnome boots and my pocket protector and the cute things that I stole off of another gnome, and I'll just lure a new gnome in.
So
That's how gnomes work, right?
while they're breaking down and parting out this robot, Byron's going to start like reading through the book and trying to get, any sense of
Sure.
history or magic or anything.
Yep. I need to go up here to make some notes real quick. All right. So as you're you check the index, you're just looking for like key points to be able to look through here. Give me a you're gonna give me a perception check. Give it with advantage because you are a bard. So give me a perception check with advantage.
22.
I'm sorry, 22? Okay, so you're able to pick through this, and you see that this talks about every 2,400-ish years, there is the rise of a rose gold dragon. And this has been every 2,400 years since the fall of Verast.
And we don't really know when he fell.
It was a while ago, but you don't know exactly when it. You would probably guess it was
Approximately 4,800 years.
not that far, but it's probably between 15 and 20.
Okay.
So every time we've been talking about the rise of a new dragon, and I was like, maybe it's Aruma. What if it's Aruma? It was Aruma. It was Aruma the whole time.
Yep.
Justin, look at you. Look at your little smirk. You knew I was right the whole time. Nobody acknowledged my brilliance.
Okay.
So every time I was like, what if it's a different dragon? Oh, no, I'm going to gloat. I'm going to enjoy this, Casey. I fucking knew it was. Okay, all right. Okay, even more reason, because now we got a super kill Aruma because she's directly tied into the prophecy. So now we got double the reason to take her down. 1, prophecy. 2, capitalism. Let's go kill a dragon.
That's all I need.
Looks at Maeve. We're killing this one. No talking.
Maeve has never met Aruma, actually, because that was back when Clem was around.
Yep.
And
So of
just
course she's going to try to talk to her.
out of character, I wrote all of this shit before Maeve was a thing.
I know, of course I make a dragon-loving monk who is then forced to kill so many wyverns and dragons. It is unbelievable.
Wyverns aren't real dragons. They're like the cockroaches of the dragon world.
I appreciate knowing where your loyalty lies, frankly. Seeing you kill so many dragons early on is like, all right, nice. Maeve's one of us. She's gonna do just fine. When we take down Aruma. Alrighty. What else? Anything else we want to get done here before we move along to Iohara? No, I'm seeing shaking heads.
Is there anything else we need to know about the book?
It's got pages.
Like, yeah, it has that information, but why is it worth so much?
Wow.
This, you may not remember, but the Order of the Reborn Knight, they asked you to go get this book.
I guess the question is why is Prowler making such a big deal out of it and Order of the Reborn Knight when all it's got in here is a dragon's reborn every 2,400 years? Like, who cares? We already knew that.
So it's only that dragon?
That's what it talks about. Yes.
Okay. Can I dig deeper into the book? Like,
What would you like to try to figure out from this book?
I mean, anything and everything that might be a reason as to why it's worth so much. Like, you've
Okay,
got people
so-
stealing for it. You've got murder happening. Like,
So with a 22, the author posited that this might have been just a vicious cycle of the spawn of the same dragon over and over again. So kind of like, how salmon will go upstream and then they lay their eggs and then cycles all over again. Well, this writer thought that possibly what happens is this type of dragon comes to adult age, lays an egg, goes fucking crazy, and tries to kill everyone. That's
Whoa.
what is thought
You
of
mean
here.
we need to hunt down a dragon egg?
Maybe.
Probably the actual dragon first.
Yeah, I'm thinking because we already have the rose gold dragon, and
what
I
if
don't know
she's
what
a,
it means for.
So I
What
don't
is
know. I don't think she seems crazy yet.
I mean,
No,
This
but
is being
it
said
seems
out
like
of character, which means she might not have laid her egg yet.
right. So it sounds like maybe we got to get to her before she's able to lay her egg.
So, a few thoughts. Does it say in the book when they go crazy? Is it when they lay the egg? Or is it just...
The author didn't know if that's what happened. That was the guess, right? So there was all this research looking at, historically there was an issue at this point in this area of the world, and then there was an issue at this point, but the length of time in which it does it correlates with how long it takes to get to be from just an itty bitty baby dragon up to a big honking dragon.
so
We have.
it's rose
sorry.
gold. Maybe it's a phoenix dragon, and when it dies, it rebirths itself. And we've got
That's
a
a
whole
fun idea.
we've got a whole Sarenrae thing playing in that we have to hunt because Nyx is reborn, and
I like that. I like that idea.
Something else to consider in the prophecy, at least in our notes, and I feel like it was written correctly at the time, the dragons in the prophecy seem to be different colors every time they come back. So the year span lines up, but the fact that it's the same dragon every time doesn't.
Wait, does it definitely say that they're different colors when they come back?
That's what it says in the notes. I think it's worth going back to the order to see and just be like, hey, are you sure
It
about this
is-
before we go kill the dragon?
were the notes referring to Metricath, who was fighting Aruma, like rose gold versus the black and silver?
I'm
He
gonna
wa-
be honest with you, man. Just from what I'm seeing in the notes here, I'm thinking this is probably something that Justin might have just made off the top of his head at the time, and now is like, ooh, not accurate anymore. I'm not saying that for sure. I'm just saying it very specifically. I have the note, third part of the prophecy, unearthing of the dragon. We don't know a whole lot about it, but the dragons do seem to be different colors every time they appear, which probably means somebody was like, "What color are the dragons?"
Justin, would you like to recant your statement? That the dragons
Those were
different
all just
colors every
wild
time they appear?
rumors, and now we have found fact, and that's why it's worth so much money.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
don't
I
think
like
they
that.
were
Let's go with
wild
that.
rumors. This is the organization that made the prophecies. So I mean, it was coming-
Nobody
I mean,
makes prophecies; they just happen. Come on.
Yeah, none of them were around the last time it happened, all right? How
yeah,
do they
it was
know?
it was from like a game of telephone, maybe.
It's one
So
of those things where, like, listen, language changes over time. So what was
Yeah.
reported as red in one era was reported as pink in a different one, was reported as gold in a different one. So they're like, oh, it's a different dragon every
Yeah.
time, okay? It's just language. It evolves and changes. Language isn't real.
Nothing is real.
Nothing is real.
I agree. I'm just saying that it merits a follow up because there are discrepancies.
I think that you just want to go see your bros at the church.
Honestly, I
Might
wrote
as
in our notes, also Rob really, really, really wants us to go back to Casper's church.
But-
Happy to quote our Discord messages in here to back that up.
Byron wants to go there to see a certain guy in a top knot.
Yeah, same actually.
Maeve hasn't met Hottie with the naughty Tom yet.
She
oh,
sure
I can't
hasn't.
wait. That's
Okay,
the
so you
t-shirt
guys,
I want us
you
to
guys
sell
know what
first this
you guys know
merch.
what you want to do yet?
All right. So do we need to go back to the church prior to turning in the book? Because then we won't have the book, or does that matter?
Well, we won't give them the book. We'll just be like, hey, take a look at this book.
I mean, that's the
Yeah,
whole quest, though.
Yeah,
No,
that's fair.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
By
We go-
give them the book, did you mean the church?
Yeah.
So
So, not
then
giving the church the book. So going to the church, being like, hey, what are your thoughts
What
on
do you
this?
know
And then
about this?
leaving.
You said you also wanted to
Yeah,
see how they react.
regardless.
To
So
the
which
lance,
do you want to do first, though?
I think the church makes the most
Okay,
sense.
so then not going to Ihara yet. We're going to the church then.
Well, if
That's fine.
Iohara's quest was on behalf of the Order of the Reborn Knight,
Mhm.
going to see Iohara would just be a sidestep. It would just be a, hey, yo, we got it. Money, please. Anyway, we're going to go turn it into the actual people who matter. So I don't think that we need to see both of them because they're effectively
His
the
church,
same unless there's something.
his church isn't the Order of the Reborn Knights.
So
Oh, I'm thinking Heralds of the Dawn. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You're correct. My bad.
Order of the Reborn Knight was the other guys. Herald of the Dawn, Casper's church.
Can you
Yes,
remind
yes,
me
sorry about
when
that.
was Reborn Knight with a K or without a K?
It is. I don't want to tell you wrong. It's Order of
in-
Reborn, NIGHT.
I just think that's interesting that we have Heralds of the Dawn and the Order of the Reborn Knight.
Also, Order of the Reborn. Psh.
But I'm just
Oh
thinking
my
Dawn
God.
and Knight are
Mhm.
very opposing.
It's all coming. I just need like
It's all coming
I need
together.
Charlie from
Charlie Day.
Just
Pepe Silva all the way down.
All right. So
Alright.
where are you going?
church.
Off to
Herald of
church.
Dawn.
Heralds
Take
of the
me to
Dawn.
church.
Gonna go
if you
visit-
will.
Our buddy Tom.
All right. Let me find the map here. Herald's Dawn.
We can also see if Talon's there and if he found all of her armor yet.
Yeah.
We can check on him.
Last time we saw him, though, it was a bit depressing. Wasn't he like a drug addict?
You sent him to go work for Prowler.
He's struggling a bit.
He was
Yeah.
working on the Prowler factory floor.
Okay. So everybody summoned. Let me bring in yo characters.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Let's see
So
here.
what you're telling me is then is Talon's dead. Got it.
It could be.
Byron, Maeve, and Casper. And where is our little... There's Athena. Boop. All right. So you guys end up back at the Herald of the Dawn Church. I apologize. I don't remember where I grabbed this off of in Tales Bazaar. I think I talked about it the last time that we showed it, though. So you guys show up to what you guys now know as Casper's home base, and when you get there, you find that Tom Basker, Father Rissi, how do you pronounce his last name?
Side.
Ursai, and we get it wrong every single time.
Yep. And Garrick Dars are all in the building.
We know Garrick. Was Garrick just the other guy who wasn't as hot as Tom, so we didn't pay as much attention to him?
So just to give you guys yes, you did. There is Tom Basker. He's a normal sized man. He's absolutely beautiful. He likes to cut wood with his shirt off, and he has a top knot. There
I'm imagining him as the main guy from Mulan.
there is Father Ursai. He's a tall, hulking man with a big, bushy mustache and
Oh.
kind eyes. And then there's Garrick Dars. He's a Weasley-looking man with a thin scar on his face. Not the kind of scar that had the guy in black. Just throwing it out there so you don't... just throwing it out there so we don't derail it for at least a half an hour.
Thank you, Justin.
Yes.
Rob, please tell us more about the man in black since Justin brought him up.
Oh, well, let me tell you. He gets interrupted all the time. Nobody ever listens to what he has to say.
It's the whole reason why he has started this citywide raid is just show people respect.
All right, what do you guys want to do?
We walk in.
Yeah, this is Casper's show, so
and
What the
like,
hell is
What's
this
up?
place? I'm not much of a churchgoer. I gotta be honest with you.
do you think any of us are? I mean, it seems like she should be hunted by them. I definitely not. I'm probably more likely to steal from them than actually be here. This is
So why
This
the
is-
hell are we here?
we're here because of the cop. Why else would we be here?
We are here because we can use some more information from them. Father Urasai, it's good to see you again.
Oh,
yes,
yes, it's good to see you. And so he is behind the podium lectern. Is that the term I'm looking for?
Mhm.
And he's got some books out and he's reading them. Garrick Dars is cleaning an area that looks like it's just like a cabinet with some stuff in there's cleaning. And as always, Tom Basker has just got out of the shower. He is in a towel and he's walking by and he goes, "Oh, I didn't expect you to be here." And there's like a light that shines down on him.
And
Casper
this is
goes up and
when
gives him a hug.
and this is when Byron would lean into Maeve as he held back and say, "This is why we're here."
Casper and
Get it now. I
Tom are
totally
just
get it
hugging,
now.
hugging it out.
"Casper,
Good
come
to see
here,
you."
you big bastard." And he throws his arms around you,
Towel
hugging
slips
you.
to the floor.
Yeah.
I was like,
He's-
been on the home base.
It's been interesting. I haven't seen your friend for a while. Talon, he came back for a while, and then he was talking about Prowler, and after a couple of days, he just stopped showing up. We went to go see him at the Prowler factory, and they didn't say that he went there. So we tried, brother, but I think he might have gone back on the old nose candy.
Well, can't save them all. Although, interesting they say that. Your admirers are still here.
Yeah, you guys. He looks over the shoulder and sees Nyx, like just got her hands in front of her face, giggling like.
Rolling to see if I remember why we're here. That's an 8. Hi, Tom. Hi.
Casper will like nod over at Maeve and say she comes from a really rich family, so she go introduce herself.
I will. Do you think she'll donate a little tithing?
Rob, did you,
Casper just looks right into the camera. Yeah, she'll probably do it.
did
Hey,
Rob?
hey.
Did you forget you were a paladin and money meant nothing to you guys?
All churches need money.
I think this is a direct reflection of our bad influence wearing off on Casper.
Uh-huh.
And Father Ursa's just
Yeah.
like, Casper, that's
Started
not what we
session
care
1.
about here.
So fun to compare beginning of the campaign Casper to end of campaign Casper.
So Tom Basker walks over to Maeve, and we cut back to Nyx talking to Father Urasai.
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 And you were asking him what?
I was hoping that you could take a look at this book that we found. It seems to have more information on the Heralds of the Dawn prophecy.
He takes it and he looks it over, and he's gonna roll to see what he reads.
I can't read.
So he picks it up and he's like, this is interesting. And he's like muttering to himself as he's reading it, and he's just saying things that don't really make any sense. He's talking about, you hear the talk of, like I said before, every 1,200 years, how it coincides with, the other parts that he knows of. And, this book is making him start to put things together. And he says, hold on 1 second. And he runs over and grabs another book. And this book is roughly the same size as the book that you guys got from Bound to Be New. And they don't look like they were written at the same time. but he's flipping both books open and he's referencing certain things. And he goes, "Son of a bitch." Excuse me. I.
You are my kind of priest if you use language like that.
It appears that we've missed some pieces. Here, where it's referencing the dragon coming every 2,400 years, that fits with some of our records, but this other 1,200 year section that's been a little confusing. So we have, and he's like pointing to timelines of things, and he talks about how there was orcs at one point, and that there were trolls and, you know, crazy kobolds, just all kinds of things that have been plaguing every 1,200 years. But there's also always been another dragon at that time, not rose gold. There are different colors of dragons in these 1,200 years periods.
Apart from the
Well,
rose gold.
well, Justin, I'm sorry I doubted you.
Yep.
We
And
held it together so well while we were theorizing all of these things.
he says the thing that worries me, however, is that if you look, and he shows you a text, a page in the text, and I would imagine everybody's over there by now, and you can see that he goes, "Here, with the rose gold dragon," and he references the other book. It seems that the showing of a black dragon triggers the end.
Well, then I guess we're in the end game, because we saw a black dragon pretty recently.
It would appear that way.
And he's talking, and you, Casper, you would see that it talks about a great hero in the book that your brother has, and it's talking about this giant of a woman who's wearing purple and yellow armor, and how she brought the rose gold dragon down previously.
Can I go ahead and just throw in, when we put the lance back together, if you remember, Casper, you had a vision of a giant woman at that time, like a half Goliath woman who defeated Varast and then broke the lance into pieces. Just gonna say maybe it's the same woman. I don't know. I'm not, just a guess.
Father, could we move to a private room?
Yes.
All of
Yes,
us.
my child. He takes you back into that room where he originally was working with Nyx. He pushes open the door. Yes, Baron.
Bye, Tom.
Tom, you don't want to join us?
Did you want Tom to go with you, Casper?
I love that we have a private room. And we're like trying to drag in everyone else that was in the other room.
Listen, there'll be tight quarters in there, and I don't think I'll mind.
Just so I understand, Casper, did you want to talk with the father by yourself or with everybody else?
With the group.
Okay, then yes. Tom's over there. He's now come back, and he's dressed in not booty shorts, but like a linen short that comes like mid thigh, and
What size they are.
Yeah, a
Oh my.
linen tunic-y thing, but it's got like buttons that are way buttoned down by like right above his belly button and no sleeves.
Tell me, is this room we're going into a little cramped when you fit all of us in there?
Yes.
Tom's not coming with us. Byron will shut the door and
You
Come for the dragons. Stay for the
just
fan
1
service.
minute, sugar. We'll be right back.
as you're shutting the door, Tom's like looking in and the door closes in his face. Yes,
Sorry.
Casper. What is it that you wanted to talk about?
Casper will take the lance. I mean, it's a lance, so it's not super easy to hide. But he'll take it off of his back and kind of like hold it in his hands, showing the father.
This
We got this recently.
he holds his hands out. May I?
Casper does hesitate for a second.
Don't you dare give him to us! Don't you dare give us to him! It's not for him. Don't do it. We wants to be with you forever.
Oh my. Okay, Casper.
The precious.
Casper like hesitates, goes to hand it, and then hesitates again. And he says, Eldath came to me in a vision and told me that I was supposed to wield the lance.
He is beaming, and he takes his giant meat hammer of a hand and just slaps you on the shoulder, and he's like, I always knew that you were going to be great. This is fantastic. I have to ask though, he points at the book, and he's like, does this have anything to do with the prophecy?
A book? The thing that you were just comparing the prophecy to?
No, your lance.
Oh.
The lance is. I apologize. It's hard to do that over video.
Yeah.
Your
It's the
lance.
lance of. It's the Lance of Epoch. I have to imagine it is. I think it's the weapon that the hero used.
This was the weapon that brought down Varast previously, and from what Casper tells us of his vision, Eldath has warned him that he's going to need to use it to take down another god? Which, with what we know about the prophecy, I'm frankly hoping it won't get to that point, but with there being a rose gold dragon and the black dragon both around, I don't know, maybe that means there is going to be a new god suddenly appearing, but I think it's safe to say that the lance is going to be play a part in that.
Byron kind of drifts off. He's not really paying a whole lot of attention to what's going on right now.
Byron, pay attention. This is the end of the world. The end is nigh.
Is it?
Literally.
It just seems like it sounds like
Literally, it is going to happen
we're
soon.
just in a cramped room. This is not the end of the world. If it is, I'm just saying, I'm going to step outside.
Listen, this would all be much more interesting if Tom were in here with us. That's all I'm saying.
It's the end of the. How are you guys bored by this?
If the world is gonna end, I want a little eye candy while it does.
Byron kind of looks at her and he's like,
point.
"Excuse me, I'm in the room."
At least half of our group is comprised of eye candy. And you can fight over which half you're in.
What a wonderful inadvertent shutdown, babe. Just don't consider it, Byron. Just in case you were uncertain, let's be clear. No.
Eyes up here, Emily.
So, the father is a little taken aback, and he's like, I think that I need to think on this for a little while. This is a lot.
Well,
I'm-
you have until the dragons start destroying the city. So
No,
Take your time.
look, I'm very proud of what you're doing, and the fact that you are directly in contact with Eldath tells me that we were right to bring you in with us. This is a little much. I didn't know that it was going to come to pass while I was still alive.
it's not just me. I mean, everybody standing in this room right now had a huge part in it. I wouldn't have been able to get the lance by myself. That never would have happened.
So, I kind of drifted off there for a minute. Are we supposed to kill a whole bunch of different colored dragons now? Is that what the deal is?
Well, 2. Yeah, I don't think that's not a whole bunch, but
I thought the black
maybe
dragon
3.
was supposed to be
maybe
good.
3 with the egg laying business.
Is the black dragon not good? I'm confused.
No.
I don't know.
They said showing of the black dragon is the sign of the end.
Yeah. Okay. Well. So we go
He-
kill them both.
Actually, before we leave, Father, what do you know about the Reborn, the Order of the Reborn Knight?
He scratches his chin and he's looking and he's like flipping through pages of the book that he was looking at, and he goes, it talks about it here, and then again here, and then here. And it seems that the Order of the Reborn Knight pops up every 2,400 years. Opposite, right? Like at the same time as the Rose Gold Dragon.
So
Wait, no, at the
if
same
the
time or
rose-
opposite of.
Interesting.
If
So just a sorry, go ahead, Byron.
if the rose gold dragon is summoning undead because the other colored dragons summon trolls or orcs or whatnot, and this is what the red dragon or rose gold dragon's thing is to influx. Maybe the Order of the Reborn Knight are there to combat the undead, because that's what they were trying to do, albeit rather poorly. I'm surprised that they've managed to exist this long and be this terrible at their job. We managed to do what they couldn't do in a matter of moments.
Well, if that
The-
is the case, then that would make them and Heralds of the Dawn essentially brethren. I mean, that was the whole
I-
point of the Heralds of Dawn getting us involved, was to combat the zombies in the first place, which was part of the original stage of the prophecy.
The Order wanted the book, and they wanted the lance.
Could be that they want to try to help stop the prophecy, or it could also be that they just want to try to take out anything that could potentially impede it from stopping. Either way, Black Dragon or not, I certainly don't trust its appearance, and if we have to take out 2 dragons, or 3 dragons, or a whole corporation,
I think we better
it's
get
probably
busy.
worth it.
Father, while we have you here, can I ask just one more question?
Of course, my child.
What is this book that you have that you're using along with this one that we have?
This is this is the Heralds of the Dawn book on prophecy, part 2.
Version 4.
Yeah, it's Cliff Notes version,
Um,
Dummy's Guide to Prophecy
no.
Reading.
This is a book. It's not like the one that you guys have where it's written by a specific author. As you guys look through this book, it's got different hands that have written things over time, and it has just how they documented the passage of time in these times of crisis, which happen to be every 1,200 years.
Okay, so maybe if this is the end, we make it the end. Literally the end of the cycle of dragons. Let's just
I
go
agree.
smote them off the face of...
I agree.
I mean, they don't need to
We should
exist
end
in
the cycle.
Pernal. We can just wipe them off.
Well, that's a wonderful idea, but unless the plan is to destroy every dragon in existence, I'm not exactly sure how we're going to make that happen.
I mean, I think if we break whatever cycle it is for these particular dragons, because we've fought red dragons, we fought, wyverns.
A young red dragon.
Right, but the point being is that it was red, not rose gold, not black and silver or whatever the other one was. Like, these mixture type dragons seems to be the ones that cause the problems. So those are the
What
ones that we
if-
need to end.
What if we could end the cycle without killing the rose gold dragon at all?
I mean, sure.
Eternal stasis? We could lock her in the mountains of Varast, keep her
What if
there
A
till she
curse.
turns to stone.
Here is what I know about prophecy. I mean, I'm a smart guy. I read a lot. Anything that is forgotten can be found again and then re-released. And if all we're doing is just going to push off the problem, it's just going to come back some other day.
So, Maeve, give me a history check with advantage because we're checking about dragons. So if you got some kind of weird dragon knowledge thing.
17.
17? You have never ever heard of a blended color dragon, and you have never heard of dragons that are able to do what they're talking about in these prophecies, right? Like, you know that dragons create hordes, you know that dragons will be worshipped like a god. But what is happening in these prophecies in the past is something different than you're used to.
And rose gold is considered a blended color dragon, right?
Yep, and the other one's oh well, I didn't tell you yet, because Soar is
What about Soar?
But Soar,
What do you mean, cause
Listen.
Soar?
because Soar
I-
saw the black and silver dragon, right? Because he told us, and we found scales for it.
I feel like you just unlocked a core memory in me.
Am I?
Okay.
Am I?
no, you're not crazy, and it was an opal gold dragon.
Oh, okay. Black and gold. Gotcha.
Yep,
Uh,
but you were very
Yeah,
close to
I-
that.
Listen, I've done
That's an
a
indication.
lot of research on dragons. I have this weird connection to them, and this is the first time I've heard of blended ones, and let alone ones that do all these wild things. You said that your god, goddess, whoever said you'd kill a god. Is it possible to have a god that's in the form of a dragon? Or, I don't know, am I making any sense here?
Are you talking to me or are you talking to Casper?
This is to the group.
Byron has tuned out again and is playing with a minor illusion of like a dodecahedron in his
Why?
hands.
I sometimes have good ideas. Why does no one ever want to listen to me?
Father, is there any possible that Varast himself may have been a dragon at the last slaying?
I don't know. He takes a step back, just thinking. He's like, I guess it could have happened.
I'm just saying, couldn't this dragon and this god you're supposed to defeat be one and the same?
Seems
Because
possible.
this whole dragon situation is not normal dragon fare.
It definitely could. I don't see why it couldn't be that way.
Well, but so Varast disappeared, and essentially when Varast died, his body turned into the Grey Mist Mountains, right? So you would think that there would be some sign if it was a dragon body versus a more human body, then someone would have discovered that at some point. Unless the body's just so...
A little bit of a history lesson that we talked about before. The gods that were fighting, it was Shestrak killed Varast. Oh shit. I almost deleted something that I wasn't supposed to. So Shestrak is known as the god of oppression and dread. Killed Varast with the Lance of Epoch. And Varast was known as the god of compassion and justice. So we talked about that before. That's why the only reason why I'm throwing it out there now.
Appreciate that.
Mhm.
So Shestrak is essentially the giant woman. giant woman. That's for you Steven Universe fans out there.
Mhm.
So Shestrak is essentially this giant woman in the purple armor who is wielding the lance, who also we have, I mean, it maybe is somehow tied to Casper, or at the very least is tied to the lance. Maybe she is the lance. Maybe her soul is stuck in the lance. There's too many different ways this could go.
Are you saying this out
boy.
loud?
No, this is me having a breakdown.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
so-
because you were close. Say it out loud.
So if we know that Shestrak and Varas were previously the ones that had battled, and we know that Shestrak destroyed Varast with the lance, I mean, could there be something found on the lance itself, or maybe in the mountains that would tell us more about Varast? Or maybe if Shestrak is inside of the lance still. Or whatever else it was that I needed to say, Justin. What did I need to say?
I don't know.
Damn
Because
it.
you were all over the place there.
I know.
But Father Arisai, why can't I get this guy's
It's
fucking
like a
name right?
bear. It's
Er,
like a bear.
Sigh.
Arisai. He looks over at you and he looks at Casper and he says, "Is the lance speaking with you?"
Oh yeah, there's two voices in it. They talk to me.
Two
All the
voices.
time. Yeah.
Shut your
Oh
mouth.
my god, it's both of them and they're already battling inside. No, it can't, because Shestrak
No,
is broken the
they're
lance
kind
the
of
first place, so it
buddy
couldn't have
buddy with
been.
each other in there.
So
Is
this
it-
is something
is
that I'm obviously not getting across to you. The voices are
Are
the
the same.
same
Yeah.
voice. They're
Oh.
just fractured. And with time, the voices are getting closer and closer and closer together.
Oh. Okay. Never mind. Maybe it is. Interesting. I'm gonna ask the lance. I'm gonna think out loud. Are you Shestrak? Did you kill Varast?
I am not Shestrak.
Oh, who are you?
I am shit. I forgot the character's name because I wasn't expecting this as a question.
Don't
Please
ask me
pretend
this.
like
Take-
you're
take
talking
your
amongst
time.
yourself.
Take your time.
Casper,
Uh,
you okay? Your expression, you've gone all clammy.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
worried
anyway,
about you.
I think if the Roll's Gold Dragon is a god, then I guess we gotta banish it or kill it or imprison it. But maybe it's not.
Okay.
Maybe it's just cursed and we can help break the cycle.
Concept. What if the rose gold dragon and the black gold dragon have an egg and it's just a gold dragon?
We have to get the dragons to bang. That's the only way we can break the cycle.
What if it just makes a gold dragon though, and then it's just like awesome, new gold dragon just dropped. Like, maybe we just kill the one, and then the others are like fine or whatever.
Achievement unlocked.
So, I don't want to say the wrong name because I do have it written down here somewhere. But, and it's repeating, and I'm not going to repeat it because that's annoying. I am the woman in the purple armor.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought. Okay.
I need you to understand. To kill this god, you will have to use me, and then you will become the lance.
Oh. Hmm.
You are the
Yeah.
champion.
Casper frowns a little bit.
It's a
Casper, you're
catch
looking more
22.
green than normal. Oh, I
That's
cut
actually
you off.
that's
I'm
my new
sorry.
conditioner, but that's not important. Okay. Well, it's not Shestrak in the lands. So, good try, Nyx, but not quite. It is the lady in the purple and yellow armor, though. So, almost.
So,
So then history is wrong because we've learned that Shestrak killed Varast, and the woman who was wielding the lance who killed Varast would then have to be
assuming
Shestrak,
Varast
but
was
she's
the-
not
we're-
Shestrak.
We're assuming the Varast was the dragon.
That's one possibility. Yeah.
But
But
I'm
we
so
saw
happy
the
that I broke
vision.
Lisa's brain.
I feel incredibly dumb right now. I don't think I've ever felt more dumb than trying to put these pieces together.
I don't think we have all the pieces.
Simplistically put, we're supposed to kill a god, right? That's the whole point of this?
I don't think that's necessarily what we need to do. We need
Yes,
to
I
deal
think
with
that's exactly what we need to do.
this cycle.
Kill God,
We don't-
stop prophecy,
So
and
We don't know if
cycle,
it's a god,
save
though.
the world.
and I quote, kill the god with this lance, you become the lance. That is what
So
the lance just said
just
to
a
you.
refresher. Just a refresher. She, in what she's saying and what you guys know, killed the god, broke the lance, was never seen again.
So, question. You hear the same voice, fractured and becoming whole. Do we know if this person was the first wielder of the lance? I'm asking
No.
Casper, so.
So if you would ask the lance that, she would say,
Did she find the lance? Did she make the lance?
it is still fuzzy. However, I too was Eldath champion.
Okay,
doesn't know.
but that could tell us, yeah, it's... We don't know how many thousand of years ago that was.
Okay,
But
well,
we do have an idea of, like, when Varas died. Like, that's just kind of common history, but we don't know about before then.
Byron tunes out again.
Okay. Well. Okay, so, Father, is there anything in the book that tells us, now that we have the appearance of the black dragon, does it say how long it takes before the next cycle repeats? It seems we have far less time than we thought we did.
1,200 years after, so it happens. There's a big fight. 1,200 years.
Yeah, no. I meant from the black dragon's appearance. So is it like we have a month? And then shit's gonna go down?
He's you see him referencing back and forth between the books, and you two are, it's a fucking montage, and you guys are like flipping back and forth between pages, and you're writing things down, and you can see that the recorded times that they have, it doesn't always line up to be the same amount of times. Sometimes it's a very short period of time. Sometimes it's a year or two. It's just every time's a little bit different.
Okay. Is there, if we need reinforcement, do the Heralds have any kind of additional labor force? Do we have reinforcements that we could call on for help with this battle?
So, there are not a lot of us. We are, if you remember correctly, a fragmented version of the Heralds of the Dawn. We are the quiet ones.
Can I just say how cool? I'm like imagining this turns into this epic war. Casper gets all these different Herald of the Dawn sects. Nyx raises this huge zombie army. Maeve gets her family and all their associates from like across the continent. Byron gets all of his exes and their cohorts to band together.
Just leading a troop of prostitutes sounds epic.
So it's just the entirety of it's just a whole
All
bunch
the
of
local
what's her face?
brothels.
What was her name? Savannah.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Thank you. But to answer your question, he goes, we could pull people together, but it wouldn't be very quickly. We're rather scattered, and there's anywhere from here, where we're 4, to other churches have maybe 20 to 30. But as you know, Eldath is a pacifist.
Good thing we're not. Can
Good
you
thing we're not.
can you send out the call? I don't know if you'll be able to help us in the final battle, but even making sure third parties don't interrupt us could be good. We're worried about Prowler.
Byron, like the image of the thing that he's playing with kind of disappears. He says, at the very least, you guys could just serve as a distraction that allows us to get to the final boss.
Yeah. So he goes over to the back of the church, and they are fantasy pigeons, which he uses to communicate with other sects. And Casper, you would know that that's what this is for. He writes a little note in a bunch of these fantasy pigeons' legs, puts them in there, and just releases them into the air. And they fly off in all directions.
I think we need to have a discussion with the knights.
I agree.
I think we need to get our money for this freaking book.
Yeah, that comes with turning it in.
I think we should take a rest while we're here. Take some Z's.
Sure.
Take a little, stay the night, get cozy.
Long overnight rest.
This is a safe haven for us. I just think while we're here, might be worth it to take advantage of it. Yeah.
Be happy to share
You guys setting watches?
Setting watches? God, do we need to?
I mean,
If
you
you
guys
don't,
gotta
does
watch.
that mean we
I
can have a
don't-
battle in the church? Because that'd be awesome.
Somebody's got to watch for Tom.
Actually, Byron was going to try to
volunteer.
take
I volunteer.
Tom.
No, I called it first. I said it first.
Oh,
Nobody gets a solid night's rest.
Why
because
didn't
they're all
anyone
just staying
ask
there.
who Tom wants to watch with, huh?
Tom is probably fast asleep and is just in his own room, minding his own business. And we're outside of the door of his room, just like, no, I get to take first watch.
I like the
It's gonna-
fact that
Probably wearing
Tom just
pretty
has no
pajamas.
idea that
Yeah.
everybody loves him so much.
For sure.
So beautiful.
I
and
like
so
the idea
stupid.
that Tom is just a eunuch.
Smooth as a Barbie doll down there, or a Ken doll.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys are taking a nap.
Yeah,
Yep.
why not?
Yes.
Please.
All right, you guys take a nap. The church is attacked by 14 dragons. You wake
No.
up after a horrible nightmare, fully rested.
A long nap. Ah.
Alrighty.
Everybody reset your stuff. What do you guys want to do now?
Head to turn in the book and talk to
please,
the
please, please.
knights.
Yep.
I would very much like to get that money and go shopping before our next session.
So, you head back. I'm not going to change boards. You head back to the Broken Horn and see Io, and she's like, "Oh, Byron." She smiles a little bit. It's good to see you again. Oh, and your friends are here too.
Hello.
Hi.
You
Nate, for some reason,
seem
does not love Iohara. Like, she doesn't dislike her.
Is it because you as Maeve secretly have a crush
Actually,
on Byron?
No, I lied. No, she doesn't dislike her. I was just thinking of negative feelings towards her, but then I remembered it's because Casper didn't want to give her the lance, so that's why we had to go on this extra quest for money, which really has nothing to do with her.
I think the Byron thing seems pretty likely.
Emily,
we're too
you have
busy shipping Byron and Casper. Okay.
there's enough Byron to go around. So you seem weirdly chipper.
I'm glad you're not dead. After the island thing, I was a little worried.
Oh, you mean last
Insight
time when
check
you
her.
sent us to an island and you were convinced that we weren't going to come back alive?
Uh,
Bit of a pleasant surprise that we came back a second time.
it is.
Right?
It is. Byron, give me a perception check with advantage.
Am I allowed to insight check her? She makes me suspicious. Right
Sure.
now.
Go ahead. Give me an insight check.
25.
25.
She's one of Byron's companions. You honestly should
That was
be
a natural
suspicious of
one.
her.
Natural one.
Yeah,
You
for
can.
8.
You're while
Never
this
mind.
is going on, you're looking at it's the laciest lingerie that you've ever seen in your life, that is hanging on a mannequin, and as that's happening, um,
I want to like hanging on her body.
yeah, no, as that's happening, there is a hand gesture that's just the barest of briefest of seconds that flashes on Io's fingers, and you see that Byron that just says, "Need to talk." Yeah, did you guys bring the book back?
Yeah, we you know, guys, do you guys mind? It's been a long time since Io and I have gotten a chance to catch up. I feel like this would be, I would be remiss if I didn't take a chance to, just have a moment to talk to her before, and I want to kind of,
Go ahead.
hang on.
You can
I
talk.
will agree on 2 conditions.
We get to watch.
I was
And
gonna say, number
we get to
1,
watch.
you wear a condom, and number 2, we get paid first.
Byron's gonna kind of like try and cut Maeve off, like by putting his finger up to her mouth as she's expressing the idea of payment.
Byron, I want my money. I fucking want my money.
Hey,
This Lance was supposed to get us a ton of gold.
you've already been paid for that.
This is
We
for the
never
book.
got
It's
paid for the
1,000.
Lance.
Yes, you did.
Yes,
Because
you
we're
did.
not giving, we got some, but we're not giving the Lance up, so we didn't get as much as we would have gotten for it.
Nope,
You
still
got
got the
3
same amount.
Now we got mad coin for that.
Yeah, we got $3,000 a piece. So
But that's not the point.
we,
It's about the book now.
but
We
about
didn't get
more
paid. Did I
money.
not put my money in for the Lance?
you bought
I
like
don't
7
know.
You
items.
bought
What
a
do you thought?
shitload of
Oh,
stuff.
we bought stuff after the Lance?
Yes.
Okay.
So Byron will try to silence her, and he's going to kind of give Casper the most look of like, like kind of like keep your mouth shut type thing. Like, I don't know how, like,
For those of you listening in the future, Casey just bulged his eyes in a
And
dude
squared up.
bro sign
It was
of shit's about to go down.
Casper is not paying attention. He is looking at his hands. A dice that
Casper
he
is
found on the
also
ground.
looking at the lingerie very attentively.
Casper does see what you're doing, Byron. So Casper gives you a wink. That you've seen many times before.
I'll just kind of turn back and just say, let's step back, and I'm gonna kind of like, as I'm like, I'll like guide her by the small of the back towards like the back room. As I do, can I try to like very subtly make a motion at Nyx and like tap a weapon?
Sure. Give me a performance check.
Don't forget the part about wearing a condom.
Or a sleight of hand, whichever you want to do.
12.
Okay. It's not very stealthy or real. So what happens is the reason why it's not that great is because in the middle of it, Maeve yells out, "Don't forget, wear a condom," and you're just like, condoms? Who wears those?
This is what magic is for.
Yeah. Magic and this brick.
Nyx immediately steps forward to follow the 2 of you to the other side of the room. I'm so
you see
sorry.
Maeve very lightly
She
grabs the
bristles.
back of her dress, like so sorry. I know you don't like being
No,
touched.
don't touch. Don't. Okay.
Like as soon as she stops, she'll like let
Byron.
go.
Byron, I don't like this. I don't like when you separate off. I don't know that it's safe. You did this last time.
If you need to be assured, Casper has something that can reach me, and I can always get back to you in the moment's notice.
I always know when Byron's in danger. It's all the time. So
Is it because of that love connection you two share?
something like that.
And I will try to step into the other room with her.
All right. The door closes behind you, I'm guessing. If you're okay with that. And she turns around and gives you a hug. And she's like, so they don't know. We have to start banging on the wall and making grunting noises so that they don't listen. No, she's like, I'm glad that you're back. But I know you were going to say something. Go ahead.
No, this is unlike you.
I'm always worried about you, Byron. But I need you to understand that I've had my feelers out ever since that you've been back, and there's been some stuff going down. There are 3 men looking for you, and from what I'm being told, they're very tough-looking men.
Well, if there's 3 men, you should just see how many women there are.
Yes, I know that you're always cracking jokes, but you need to understand these men are tough. I'm being told they're dressed like they're from the Greek War.
Do I know who that is?
Do you know
The
what that war is?
Yeah.
Yes, you do. That is the war that your father was in.
Okay. So that seems wrong. That war was many years ago. I'm not even sure I was old enough to walk by that point, or even in existence. It was before my time. I don't think that those would be the people that would be after me. I don't think that they would want to hurt me.
I can only tell you what I know, and that is there was 3 of them. There was one who was wearing a hood, another was well dressed, and the other was one of the tallest men that my spies had seen in a long time. He had to have been a Goliath.
I'm familiar with that. I know a few that work at the docks. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, I have no idea who they are, but I'll keep a low profile, and if I need to disguise myself, he'll just kind of wave his hand in front of his head, and he'll become like a blonde, like Nordic-looking individual, and he'll be, voila, all done.
As you do that, she takes your hand and looks you directly in the eyes, and she says, I need you to be careful. This devil-may-care attitude and jokes aren't always going to bring you back for the next score safe.
You know, the way I look at it is I have to be me, and if I am not that, then what am I? I'm going to be me until the end, and when the end comes, I won't know it.
That's what you think. There's some worse things than death out there right now that I'm hearing of. But let me get you your gold. And you can see that she's deflated now. She's not the jubilant young woman that was there when you first came in. She goes to her safe, gets out a pouch that has 3 little pouches in it. They all have 1,000 gold in it. I guess they wouldn't be little, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
Or 4 1,000 gold. pouches, and she gives them off to you.
When she hands it, he'd put one hand under, and then he'd put his other hand on top of hers, and he'd try and look her in the eye and just say, it really is okay. I have the devil may care attitude because I can get away from things. I'm slippery.
We know that too well, don't we? And she looks you in the eye, and you can tell she's thinking this over. And she leans up on her tiptoes and just gives you a little smooch on the cheek.
He'd lean into it.
And he goes, just please be careful.
He will, he'd put his, kind of index finger and kind of like hook it underneath her chin and just say, I think we both know that I'm anything but careful, but I'll be back. Hopefully I can get them out too. And if not, I'll be back.
She nods. Just it's not a smile. It's just kind of a, that's all I can do kind of look, and looks at you and says, I hope so.
He will kick the door, kind of like bump it to get it started, and then kick it open with his boot and turn around and say, who wants paid for the book?
We didn't hear sex noises, and I was very concerned. What was going on?
Yeah,
in
what's
there?
going on in there?
Are you that or something?
It was
'Cause, I mean,
entirely too
listen.
quiet. I tried to put my ear up against the door, and then Casper said no, but then we couldn't hear anything, so we
And
didn't
then
know
I
what was
tried-
happening.
I
This
tried
whole
to put my ear up
sexy
against the door.
reputation of his must all be a lie, because if you don't hear nothing, then he must not be that good.
All I heard was someone was slippery.
Byron will hand
You are doing
over
it wrong.
the gold to Maeve, and he'll kind of boop her on the nose and just say, magical suppression, my dear.
He takes
Nyx
like a
is still going to
sniff
give
and
you
doesn't
critical
smell
glare.
anything and says, highly doubtful.
When you take a sniff, all you get is the vanilla magic scent off of him, and just say, oh, yeah.
Can I insight check the woman?
Yeah, go ahead. Somebody else wanted to. Oh, you got a 5.
I
that's why.
did, and I got a terrible roll. It was not
I want to
worth it.
see.
Can I insight as well?
Of course you can. Anybody can.
General-
Insights for
Am I
everyone.
allowed to insight again since they're
Hey.
back out? So it's like a new.
Yeah, sure. Why the hell not?
Great.
And we got away
12.
with it.
10, 11, 12. God
10,
bless.
11, 12. You guys aren't sure what happened. You just know that she went in there smiling, and now he came out, and she's not smiling so much anymore.
The
Listen,
Byron
her
special.
hair does not look messy enough to have had good sex. That's all I'm saying.
Bitch, you did
Press-
not just.
Prestidigitation.
You did not just call it the Byron special.
I missed it, but inspiration.
That was very good.
Thanks.
Byron, you get inspiration for the RP as well.
Nyx would like to look Iohara up and down and just begrudgingly tell him, thank you for the gold. And if there is anything else that we can do to assist, please don't call on us for a while, because this has been very uncomfortable.
Io, do you know where the Reborn Knights might be that we could actually talk to them?
She's like, I've heard of them, but I'm not sure where they're located. I can put feelers out.
Well, so whom did you speak with that asked you to pick up the book?
So they came to me. It was a man. He was wearing a black outfit. He had three scars around his face.
He had what? He had what?
And his
Okay.
claw marks down his face.
Is that our?
Right.
Does that sound like our man? Is that our man? Is that our man? Ew.
Byron, did
Can you show us? Do you have magic? Are you an artist? Can you draw it?
Well, I mean,
She gets a piece of
Byron,
paper and draws a circle with a line and two legs and two arms.
Byron
Then she puts
can
3 claws marked on his line.
Byron can morph into him and just be like him.
Yes, that's him.
Okay. And then he'd kind of wipe the image and just say, bigger issues. EO, you probably should not put out feelers for those people. You probably should leave.
What? Why? Farin seemed like a nice man.
What was his name?
Farin, Farin, Hantawep, Hantawep. I'm spelling that out so that Lisa can have it, not because that's how she would do it.
You just see Maeve being like, "Yeah, you should leave. Goodbye now. See ya. Have a nice trip."
He
So-
is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
He's a serial killer.
Even more so than some of
What?
the men that I'm sure you're used to associating with.
I
Yes.
heard he likes to talk a lot and does not like being interrupted.
This is
He-
very true. He also
doesn't-
likes
he doesn't
murdering
like me.
women in their homes.
What? Murdering women?
Mm-hmm. Well, at least one that we know of for sure.
Supposed to be men. We only saw like one murder victim, and it was a woman. So.
She takes a step back and she says, That doesn't sound like him, but
How often?
she looks at Byron, kind
how-
of getting like a vibe check.
How often have you spoke with him?
Just the 2 times. The first time he came here to see if I knew who you guys were, and then the second time when he brought the gold.
How were you going to give the book to him?
The book was for you all. The order wanted you to know.
Nix's already cold body runs even colder.
Okay, so this is twisted. Okay, so I think interesting.
Do you have any way of contacting him?
Can try. You'll have to give me a few days.
No, I don't want you to do
Yes. I do.
that. I understand that you do, but I care for this person, and having this person reach out to someone that we known has murdered and has attempted to affect us in a multitude of ways, there are concerns, and I prioritize her life over finding this person whom we don't really know.
I don't think it would matter anyway. I think that they would know that we were already here, that we've talked. I don't think we'll be able to trap them that way.
Byron is going to pull out 100 gold and put it in Eo's palm and just say, go down to the warehouse, talk to Gomentug, and grab the next ship. Go out with one of my crates.
She looks at you, and you had noticed when you said about the fact that you care about her, she kind of stared at the floor, looked like she looked at you, her cheeks reddened a little bit, and then she looked at the floor. Do you think that that's really what I need to do?
Yes, 100%. I think you wait for Vasco's ship to come in and you get on with them and you go.
When will I know to come back? How will I?
I have a few tricks up my sleeve. I have expanded my magical prowess. I can reach you. I can talk to you.
Okay. And you see her like back up and start putting things in bags, just grabbing stuff here and there.
We should escort you, honestly. I think that you're a loose end, and they might try to tie you up.
he will.
How long till the next ship? Do you know, Byron?
I don't. I mean, far as I know, Vasco makes regular trips in and out. I haven't actually been in with the business since we all kind of became a group. So I haven't checked in yet. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of info, I kind of run a spice trade.
And you're still so poor all the time.
I put
Jasper.
I put everything I had
He's all mad on us.
into that business. I was very, very much in debt up until about the time that I had met you guys. I barely had pennies to my name. Or coppers to my name.
Well, EO, I suggest you either take him up on his offer, or if you do want to stay, then you could, stick around long enough, and then if that doesn't work out, then I could always bring you back. It's a great backup.
We're saying this because this person, I mean, we've seen them brutally murder several people. So, I don't think you're safe.
So as the DM, like, you 100% can go with her to wherever you want. This is now the second day, right? It's probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. You
So,
do have a meeting
foam
tonight.
party.
If you want to go there, if you don't, that's perfectly fine. I just want to let you know that that's where you're at in the timeline.
How long would it take us to escort her to the warehouse and then to get back?
If nothing happens, that would be your time frame, right? To get over there. Now you could take flights to get there sooner, but it's still going to take a big chunk of change out of your day to be able to get her there and back.
I don't know. Thoughts?
I didn't have anything else to do today. Pretty good use of time.
Fine.
Byron.
Wait. How long did you say it will take again?
So if you just hoof it, or take a horse, it's going to take you pretty much the entire time that you have before the phone party. Okay. And then if you take a flight, it'll take less time, but still a big chunk of your day.
I mean, I'm fine with fast forwarding to the phone party, so.
Byron will, while everyone's, kind of like talking to her as she packs, Byron will step aside towards Nyx and say, I know this doesn't make logical sense, but for me, this is an emotional request.
Fine. We can help her get onto the ship, and we can even help her get out of town, but I just don't trust her, and I don't like that every time she's around, you splinter off from us. Are you hiding something from us?
Oh, am I hiding something from you? Dear, everything. I'm literally hiding my entire life. I have so many things I'm hiding from you. Literally everything. That was my entire existence before meeting you. I hid every single part of my life. Very siloed. So
well, then how are we supposed to trust you, Byron?
Oh, you should not trust me at all, ever.
We're supposed to be going on... Byron, we have this prophecy that we're supposed to stop. We've got 2 organizations that are looking at us, which may or may not be on the same page with one another. We've got a man in black after us, as well as, it sounds like from the whispering that I could hear through the door, there may be even more folks that are eyeing us. Maybe not. We can scratch that from the record, depending on how you feel about it. I don't have many people around right now that I have faith in, and it sounds like this is something that's bigger than all of us. So I need to know if you're on board. I need to know if you're here to help us or not. And if you're hiding everything, then that doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence.
I'm on board to help you. The reason why I am making the effort to get her out is so that I'm not distracted and I am not drawn away from you. She is someone that would make me a liability. And if she doesn't exist in this town, then we don't have to worry about it. I know several people where we're taking her to. We can just drop her off. It's a business where I have personally seen to the hiring of every individual inside of there. I've vetted them. I know who they are. Some of them even know who I truly am.
Is there anyone who truly knows who you are?
Not anymore. I don't even know who I truly am.
It is a very difficult existence that you live, Byron.
Oh, it's quite fun. And Byron will like move his hand and he becomes this not older per se, not like super old, but like 55 human with this like Van Dyke black and white beard. And he, as he does this, he moves a ring around on his finger to show a crest. And he'll just say, "Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Wentworth."
She is completely stoic-faced, not phased by this, by his shenanigans. You know, you can tell it's just like she kind of is registering this as just another deflection.
So
Let's just get you.
fair enough. Io,
Casper is helping her pack, and he's going through her weapons that she's packing and being like, "Oh, you need one of these. You need a dagger. Here's a health potion in case you get into trouble," and trying to be generally helpful.
Okay. You guys ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna stay on this. I guess I could just throw another map on here. I didn't think you guys were gonna go here.
I don't know
so
that we
let's
need
just-
a map necessarily.
I was just trying to change up the view a little bit. But that's fine. Then I
Theo
won't do anything.
Packing. She's packing in a real rush, right?
Yeah,
She's
she's
probably
just
not
grabbing.
taking all of her stuff with her.
She's just you see her run over and
Nyx, the
Just,
undead loot
you know,
goblin, is
just
rearing
curious
her
if there's
ugly-
anything. I don't know. She's leaving. I don't know. It's just
He-
what's happening with that lingerie. I don't know. Just
she has
asking questions.
she has a go bag, right? Because of the work that she's in. But this is also still a fully functioning business.
Can we take a moment? The girl who doesn't like to be touched now wants a negligee.
I don't know.
You
It's
can look
cute.
at
I don't
her
have
and just
anything
touch
like
her.
that.
Yeah. She's like a
There you go.
Fabergé egg at this point.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's delicate.
Byron will pay for all of us to take flight.
Okay. We'll just say it costs you 6 gold.
Okay.
And we're gonna bring everybody to this board just to change the view a little bit. So you guys are flying over the city, and sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at one time. All right, you're all on the board. You're flying over the city. You fly east from the Broken Horn, and you head towards the dock area. And Byron, you said you were going to meet Gamatog Stone Splitter. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Gomatog is the for those.
No, I'm asking. That's who you said you were going to meet, right?
Yes, I was just going to
Okay.
explain who the rest of them whom
Yep.
we were meeting.
That's fine. Go ahead and tell everybody who he is.
So, he knows me both as Wentworth Blackwood and as Byron. Wentworth is the individual that runs this spice trade shop that we are going to see. He is my warehouse manager.
Yep.
I mean, I can describe him, but you know,
I can describe him here in a minute.
Sure.
I'm more surprised by so Byron shows up as Wentworth. So that face he
that
threw on.
Yes.
So he just stays in that form. We're
Yes.
just like, are you gonna shift back? And he's like, no.
Nope. This is my name.
Interesting.
For the purposes of moving into this, I am Wentworth. Wentworth runs this business.
Yep. So you guys are flying in, and
Okay, Wentworth. Okay, Mr. Secrets. Alrighty.
Yep. Hold on a second here.
And who is your contact that we met over there?
I'll paste it. It's Gomatarg's Bone Splitter.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty. And he's gonna help with the ships. Alrighty.
Okay, so you guys are heading in there, and the docks are always bustling. There is always so much going on. Doesn't matter what time of the day, there are always people who are running around. You're hearing cursing, you're hearing fighting, lots of cheap booze smell everywhere. And you come up to this smaller warehouse, and you see Byron starting to get a little tenser as he flies in, and you guys land, and before you is this warehouse. Io is on one of the flights, and she's ready to go.
I will walk up to the warehouse door and open it.
Okay. All right, so you open this door, and as you do, it is bustling. There are people walking around. You see a half elf wearing like typical piratey type clothes, like sailor type clothes, where the sleeves are cut off. He would have had a whiter colored skin, but he's so tan, he's almost like a red color. His sleeves are kind of frayed, but he's walking by. But then you see a man that you know. He is it's a dwarf. He's got red shoulder length hair. It almost covers his entire face. He's got these smart black eyes that are set back in his sockets, and you can see him just watching everything that's going on. And it is on a raised platform, so it goes up about 3/4 of a flight, and then has a raised platform so he can see everything that's going on. And he's got this gigantic red mustache and a twisted dwarven beard, that is something about the way that his beard is turned just makes everything click. And that is the thing that pulls him together to make him very, very attractive dwarf.
And you said Byron recognizes him? Okay.
Yep.
Does
You
Io
guys
seem to recognize him? Does she seem to know anybody here?
She would know a few people here.
Okay.
So you guys walk in, and all of a sudden, you hear this loud, booming voice. He's like, "Ho, ho, ho! You, Winston, you son of a bitch!" I almost forgot that you had a different name. You
Wentworth.
son of a bitch! What are you doing?
You know, I'm just bringing by Io. She needs to catch a ride with one of our shipments. Maybe head south.
I apologize. I said Winston. I meant Wentworth. But yes, we can totally go south. He looks over and he's like, the shiny dolphin emulator. That's going south tomorrow. We've got a captain. His name's Keatsaj.
Okay. Awesome. I don't know much about him, but if you trust him, I know I've been absent for a little bit. How's business? How are things doing?
Business is good. And he stops and stares directly at Nyx.
Hello.
Lucia?
No.
Lucia, is that you?
No.
Hmm.
Hello.
I-
No,
Insight
I'm
check on Nyx. No. Mattias, I might call for your inspiration on this one, buddy. Because I'm really actually kind of curious on this. Oh my
Okay.
god, a 26 on insight. Are you
Okay.
Lucia? What's your name?
I don't think so.
So
It's been-
you look over and she looks taken aback. Like with that, you can tell 100% she's not lying.
Okay.
Okay, I could have sworn that you were Lucia Donnelly. I'm a little confused, that's all. I apologize. But I'm sorry, where were
Well-
you, Byron?
No, wait. If you don't mind me asking, this Lucia Donnelly, is she I don't know how to phrase this. Is she alive?
I haven't seen Lucia in a long time. Since before me and Wentworth started working together. She actually went to go work for Prowler, and I've never seen her since then.
And that was I'm so sorry. If you don't mind me asking, how long ago was that?
Oh God, I can't be putting times together like this. Not on the spot.
Ah, certainly. Would you say it's been maybe more than a decade?
Yes, it's gonna been at least a decade.
It's
What about 2
easily been a
decades? Has it
decade.
been over 2 decades, or maybe 3?
It's been some time.
Matt, interrupt. What did you say her last name was?
Donnelly. I don't know if you're familiar. They're from the they get shit done. They're up north a little bit. They're good fucking people to know, if you know what I mean.
Let's say that's the official family motto from now on. I mean,
You-
I do.
you Nyx and
I'm a Donnelly.
You're a Donnelly?
I am. And
Never
listen,
met you.
Well, there's an awful lot.
I
of
don't
them, so that's
have
not uncommon.
any relatives, to my knowledge, with that name.
What-
I mean, but in all sense, aren't you guys like rabbits? Don't you have like many? Are you sure you know all of them?
I mean, we are, but my family is pretty strict about using Irish names. Like is it possible? Did she marry into the family?
I'm not familiar with this
What do
Irish
you-
in Prinault.
Listen! Listen!
They're fantasy Irish.
what do you want me to say?
Good old fashioned Firish.
What do you want me to say here? What do you know about this woman?
Just know that she would come around from time to time. She had a job. She seemed to be very interested in how people work. I don't know if that's because she did jobs taking people apart or what it is. I know that the Donnellys are they can be rough when they need to and sneaky when they don't.
I mean, we are good at quite a lot of things.
But
Like
you said that she worked at Prowler at some point. Do you know what she did there? You said taking people apart. What does that mean? That can mean so many different things.
Well, so you have a person, they're walking.
Uh-huh.
Something
Yes.
happens, they're
Yes.
no longer walking or alive.
Yes.
And that could be from lots of things.
Yes.
Yes.
And then what?
And then what? What does that mean? She grabs him by his shoulders
Oh,
and just
oh
says,
God.
"But you said I look like her. I look like her, and you haven't seen her in many, many years, correct?
Careful,
You're-
Nix. No touching.
You're the
This is important.
spitting image of her.
A ghost? Does she look like a ghost? What are you talking?
No, you can see the contour of her face. It's I I I I would think that you were her if I didn't know that you're telling me that you're not. I don't know what to tell you.
I release him. Just go, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
So-
Excuse me.
She's got some history that we're trying to discover a little bit about, or at least she is. So, you know,
I'm sorry. Can we just not forget? Listen, I know my whole family, okay? You as someone who knows of the Donnellys, we are very close. And I have never in my life ever heard I've never heard of this lady or mentioned.
Maeve.
So
How-
wait, give me
Right.
a history check with advantage.
19.
Okay. So when they say that name, it does spark a memory, but it's not anybody that you'd ever met. This person had been gone from the family for a long time.
Okay. Is this my cousin? Oh God, I gotta pull up. I have family tree pulled up. Are you?
Fergus,
Is this Fergus's wife?
I don't know.
Listen, she has been struck from the family tree. This lady, I don't know what happened, but they refuse to speak of it anymore. Like,
She
what
seemed like a nice lady to me. She had her problems though.
Which were?
I mean, she liked drugs.
That tracks with a lot of people that seem to come to Donversalt.
This is a big city.
in
There's
any
lots of
case-
drug
Ask
users here.
NPCs we meet.
Absolutely, and there's
They're
also
addicted to drugs.
there's so many people with the last name of Donnelly as well. It's an incredibly common last name,
Listen,
so I don't think that there's anything that we. It's
Mix.
very. You haven't seen her in many years. How do you even know that you have her face card? You probably don't even remember what she
You're-
looks like. So
You're probably right. You're probably right.
probably
So-
am, yes.
so anyway, how's business?
does Maeve remember any stories being told about like she's never met her, she's heard of it. Does she remember any stories being told about like what happened with this person?
What'd you roll? You got like a 20
19.
something? A 19?
25. Yeah, 26 even.
It's
Um,
actually
29.
31, I
41.
think. Yeah.
So you would remember that they don't talk about her anymore because she went away on a mission and never came back. So
Hmm. I gotta, y'all. We listen. I know it's not been high up on our priority list, but we gotta see my family.
We
at
gotta
some
go see the
point.
Donnellys. Absolutely, Maeve. Yes.
Counterpoint.
We've got to go to a foam party. But
Oh yeah.
you're going to the phone party.
yeah, we are. Do you know anybody that's happening or going there or anything?
I mean, little Timmy, and he points to a Goliath in the corner, who is wearing regular people's clothes. So like it's almost like a crop top. It just comes down a little bit. Little Timmy loves those things.
Speaking of Goliaths, is Elman around?
And he looks over his shoulder, and he's like, oh, there he is, and he comes around the corner, and he's carrying just the biggest box that you've ever seen a regular person that wasn't Casper carrying. So you guys see another person. This is a Goliath. Again, just golden brown skin, well-groomed hair. It's neatly coiffed to reveal a strong, frowny face. He's muttering to himself. He's got these shining gray eyes that are, set in his sockets that they're taking everything in at one time. And you can see that while he's just carrying a box, he looks very proud to be doing what he's doing. He's got tribal marks in like diagonal lines um, uh, across his right eye, and then he just stands like just a really large person.
I will kind of whistle towards him. I don't want to whistle in the mic because it'll
Yep.
blow you out, but just to kind of have Elman come over towards him.
And as you whistle, it's this whistle that you would have kind of perfected over time to get people to know that it's you. And it's like 3 loud chirps, 2 light chirps, and then just a really long, low whistle. And his head snaps over, and his frown perks up just a little bit. And he sets the box down and just starts taking these gigantic steps towards you.
This is probably like one of the only few people in the city that could make Casper look small. And so he, as he walks up, he just kind of has his hand raised and he just says, "Elman, buddy, hi." And then as he gets embraced by Elman, you just kind of hear,
"It is good to see you again."
Yeah, a little bit lighter.
"Oh, sorry. I forget that you break."
"Hey, can you do me a favor? Eo's going to be hanging out here till she can catch the next ship. Can you just keep an eye on her? Keep her close."
"Of course. Little lady, would you come with me?" He looks over to see where he's supposed to be taking her to, and gets that he's going to the dolphin emulator ship, and takes them over and sits down. And as he gets over, you see them sitting down, and he pulls out of his pocket and opens a handkerchief, and there is just the daintiest little tea sandwiches. He gives part of it to Io.
I see he's working out fairly good. He's turning back, talking to Gomatung, and he's like, "Alyssa's not working him too hard."
He's, he does his best after you brought him to us. He's, he's grateful. He's just glad for a solid day's work.
Yeah, he seems like a workhorse. All right, well, I'm just going to leave it in your hands, and Byron's going to pull out about 250 gold.
Okay.
And hand it to him and just say, "Will this cover everything that we owe for..."
He pushes it back and he says, "No money is needed for this.
No.
She'll be safe."
I mean, for the business. What do we owe our suppliers, caravan?
Oh, with that, yes, it's 259 gold. I apologize. I thought we were doing something touching.
Oh, no. And then Byron will grab out another 25 and throw it in and just say, "Okay, keep whatever's extra and let's just keep everything going, and I'll infuse the system with any more gold that we need."
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, well, I'm going to turn around and say, so he kind of looks at Nix and says, "That's interesting. Maybe it does not surprise me you found another one of your kin somewhere out in this world, and yet they're dead again. Like, is this not a reoccurrence?"
We don't know that she's dead. We don't know that she's dead. We don't know that she's dead.
Dear, your heart's not beating. I don't know what to tell you.
We don't know that I'm her.
We don't know that she's her.
I mean,
Sure.
I would never marry someone named Fergus, so it couldn't have possibly been
Maybe
me.
he's what killed you.
Excuse
We
you,
don't know.
my cousin Fergus is awesome.
He's still alive?
He is an amazing fighter. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Maybe
wow.
you
We
have
have to see him,
children.
like, right
yeah,
away.
maybe you have children.
I love my cousin Fergus.
We have
While you think about
have a
that, we need to
party to
get to a
get
phone
to.
party.
tonight.
Nix, think about this. Think about if we meet Fergus and he's like, my wife is still alive. Oh, man.
And then he wants to touch you.
He goes
Listen.
for a hug. And then you have a bunch of children who also want to hug you. Oh, my God.
Listen, just
We
because
gotta go
you
do
look
that.
like her doesn't mean you are her. Just because you have this form doesn't mean it's the form you had when you were alive.
Fair point.
Thank you, Maeve.
If we
Yes.
can all
For
exit.
all you know, you could have taken the form of someone you killed.
That is
Maybe you have a
weirdly
sister.
reassuring in this context. Thank you.
Or we're killed by.
Maybe she's your mother.
Maybe I have.
If she is her mother, then you have some half siblings that
Or
I-
you're related to Maeve.
If you could all exit the warehouse here, I'm trying to run a business.
Speaking of which, Byron, can I ask? you-
I'm Wentworth. I don't know who this Byron character is that you refer to, but please let's step outside if you'd like to speak further.
You seem to be putting a lot of money into this business. When do you get money out of it?
It's in due time. It has been slowly making money. I was just breaking even. Well, maybe that just broke me even. I don't know. It's teetering. Businesses are difficult. It's how you make money. That's the important thing.
A startup phase.
If you could pitch this to your 3 friends and they pitch it to their 3
So are you guys headed back to the phone party?
we'd go
Nix
back
is
out,
just
grab the flight.
wandering. Yeah, it's
Byron
just-
Byron, being one of the few people that can touch her, will guide her over to the flight and just say, "Here, take this. We're gonna fly. You stick close to me."
Right. Yes. Of course. Yes.
You, as you're leaving, the Goliath of a man waves his arm up high in the air and he waves, but it's just like a flick of the wrist up and down, and he's like, "Bye, Byron," or not Byron, Wentworth.
Take care, good man. Do take care of yourself. Try no more scuffles now.
He looks a little abashed, but the 4 of you, get onto your flights and lift off into the start of dusk, as you're headed back towards the Loose Moose, and that is where we're going to end. So, sorry that was kind of a lore dump. I didn't expect you guys to go to all the places that you did today. So good for you, lore dump.
Lore on lore. Yeah.
So that is what going on. Just so you guys are aware, next week I have got to be out of town. So we'll be doing something else, or possibly skipping a week, but we'll probably be out just doing a one-shot next week. We really, really appreciate all of you for hanging in here and listen to our shenanigans. If you could tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell an enemy, or your enemy's dog to give us a like or a subscribe or a whatever in our podcast, YouTube, or this channel, it would be super, super appreciated. We really appreciate you all. Rob, what do you got to do before we get out of here?
All right. I am giving. I feel bad for Mattias. He really.
You can give it back to him. That's not a problem.
I am, because he really tried for the point of the pirate puns. I really enjoyed the you guys are looking for clues to find the X of the matter. Shout out to that one. Big appreciate. I like that. Next time we'll give you something to use the inspiration on. One of us will attack somebody.
You will.
Yeah, it wasn't.
There's no way you're getting another week like this. I won't allow it. Birds will rain down from the sky with giant swords. So
All right.
we really appreciate you all. This was a good time. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Together,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Love you guys. Bye bye.